So the next thing we're going to do is to calculate the savings by attending AACC for 2 years. So we need to enter the data for AACC, and so we're going to come down a couple lines on A10 and type AACC, and then you're going to actually go to the College Board site and make sure that you're taking a look at how much the tuition is now. And if you live at home, you can put 0, or if you're paying rent, you can put whatever you have used for rent. You can estimate how much your books and supplies are and your personal expense and transportation expense. What I did is I just went up here and I copied, so you can copy and paste. Okay, paste that here. And then you're going to do the same thing. You hit escape and you're going to hit copy, hit it up here, and you're going to paste that here. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and make this center aligned. So now we have the information to do the calculation for the savings for AACC. Now we're ready to do the calculations to calculate our AACC savings. So if you look at college number 1, it cost $108,800 to attend college number 1 in my example here. And if I went to the school for 2 years, this is how much it would be to go for the first 2 years, and here's how much it would be to go to the first 2 years at AACC. So to get my savings for that, I can open up with an equal sign to do a formula, and then I'm going to go to H2, and I'm going to subtract how much I paid at AACC. Okay, so if I double click here, you see that it has college 1, the cost of 2 years minus the 2 years at AACC. Now, if we were to do what we did when we copied the total cost by just copying with the fill handle, I want to show you what happens. Okay, so I'm going to just go down 1. Okay, now when I do that, you notice that it copies the total of the 2 year for college number 2, but it doesn't subtract out AACC. So let's take a look at what it's doing. Okay, so I'm going to double click there. So you see what happens is that in a relative manner, everything is shifting down 1. So that's why H11 is 0, and that's why it returned 89.2. We want to have a formula that we can copy that will hold steady that one cell with the number that we want to use. Okay, so we're going to show you how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to click back up into College 1's savings, and I'm going to highlight H10, and I'm going to do something to this number to make it so that when we copy it, it's going to copy H10 all the way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the F4 key on my keyboard, and notice that it puts a $sign in front of the H and a $sign in front of the 10, and that means that reference now is absolute. Okay, so let's see what happens. So I'm going to enter. Now when we copy, okay, now if I double click, you can see that it is taking college 2. So in other words, we do want the first reference, H2, to be relative because we want it to go down to H2, H3, H4, H5, and so on. But we don't want the second part to move along with it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and copy so you can see what happens. And I'm just double click here. So then we do, oops. Okay, so here we double click here. Okay, so that's correct. We're going to double click here. That is correct. And this one is correct. And so on. And we are going to deal with the over and under budget a little bit later. Now, if I would look at the spreadsheet, I would not know whether or not the values in each of the cells are actually typed in numbers for values or a formula or function. And there is a way to take a look to see the background of it by clicking on the Formulas tab and going to Show Formulas. And so now you can see that the formulas show in the background, and then you can see that when I click off the Show Formulas, it goes back. So that's how you can see whether or not there is formulas behind the numbers.